So, the problem is that I'm literal. I'm very literal, and I don't like scary movies. So, long time ago, when often make a decision, a snap judgment about whether or not I want to watch a movie or a show or a play or something just based on the title without investigation. So, I discovered the other day that Little Shop of Horrors is not a scary movie.
And now, a whole new way to watch radio. The Dennis George Show. Here's your host, Dennis George.
Apparently, I don't know if you all knew this. Apparently, it's a musical about a plant that comes alive, and it's like a funny comedy musical type thing. It's not like really a shop of horrors, like a butcher shop where someone's being like mauled or something. Although apparently the plant eats people.
It's not a chainsaw thing.
It's not a chainsaw thing.
Feed me, Seymour.
Right.
How is whores spelled there? Because I don't think that would be scary.
That's a different movie. All right,
that is a completely different movie, and I've not seen that one either. This is spelled H-O-R-R.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
You
It's
can't
not
spell,
horrors.
so quit trying.
Horrors. like scary stuff horrors, not
Oh,
W-H.
I heard a W in there. You said
No.
W.
No.
You said W.
No.
I
There was
did
no
not.
W.
You're no.
That's
Ding,
the
ding,
version
ding,
that
ding,
I
ding,
was
ding.
thinking
No,
of.
yeah, bell. Where's Debbie when we need her? Debbie is traveling, so she's not with us. But so
Take
Little
me
Shop of Horrors.
home.
Apparently, I need to watch that.
Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors. The other one, for example. So you've ever seen you've ever heard of the movie Children of the Corn? That's very scary, right? So Village People. That's actually a musical group. That's not scary either. But if you think about it in the context of scary, and then you say Village People, you're like, yeah, I don't think I want to see that. I'm throwing it out there. It has to do with where your frame of mind is.
You always go to the
Village People
scary.
sounds like Southern New York, Manhattan
It
area.
also sounds like a porn.
Oh,
Yeah, everything sounds like porn to you.
yeah, that's right.
I was thinking it, Denny.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's just crazy. Yeah, so I guess what I'm really trying to say is open your mind up and maybe I'm saying this to myself, I guess. Open your mind up and do a little more exploratory before I do the obligatory. No, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to listen to it.
Kind of like don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
Although I'm very terrified, Dennis, if you open your horizons, I'm very terrified as to what will happen.
What's interesting is I'm scared too. So it's fine. It's completely fine. It's fine. It's going to be
It's
fine.
a legitimate fear.
I think it is well placed as well because I have stumbled into deceptive movie titles where the movie title sounds like, and I don't have a real good example for you, but where the movie title sounds like it's going to be harmless, and then you get like a minute into it and the scary music starts, and I'm like, yeah, no, like there's just no need. I just turn it off. There's like no, I don't need to go a step further. The scary music is enough of an indicator for me.
So did you ever watch Alien? I mean, that doesn't sound scary, does it?
Yes, I did not watch. I did watch Alien and I was trapped. So I was taken to the show. And it's funny because I was at a theater. This is probably 4 or 5, no, maybe 10 years ago. And we went to see something that was more of a comedy or some sort. And they started the wrong movie. And
Yes.
yeah.
It was Case 39 that they started.
Yes, we did not go see Case 39.
No.
And I'm sitting next to Mitch, and the opening scene is they pull up to this house, and there's this long stairway up, like concrete stairs up to the house. And the spooky music started, and I looked at Mitch and said, "This is not what we're seeing. Like this cannot be starting right. I know this is not right. Like it was
like we literally went to go see I think it was something like Bruce Almighty or Evan Almighty or something like that.
right.
And we're in the theater and it starts and everybody in the theater is like you see this puzzled look and everybody starts standing up to get out of the theater, and you hear, oh, we're in the wrong theater, blah 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 blah. And no one has put it together yet. And finally, I just like stand up in the middle of the theater and I shout at the top of my lungs. Didn't take that much, shouting because everyone was quiet. It's like, guys, they're playing the wrong movie. We're all into the right theater. They
Right.
messed up.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. We got them to stop the movie, but it probably took 15 minutes. But there's a fundamental problem to begin with when it comes to scary movies for me. You walk into the theater, and the first sign that there's a problem is they dim the lights. It gets dark.
Isn't that all movies?
Yeah, it is. That's the problem. It's a setup, right? So here the lights go dim.
You automatically go to scary movie.
Well, yeah. I'm like, now my defenses are up, right? So I'm like, I'm ready. Like, here we go.
What sound makes it scary? Is that like single ladies? Is that like
No, it's actually really no.
What makes it scary?
it's
You
the
know what's scary
ominous
music?
deep bass, like the.
Oh yeah, they're building up to it. Like sometimes I can. Sometimes no, that's Jaws. I could do that. But the thing is, like when
How is that one not scary?
That's kind of scary
though?
music.
Yeah, how can you do Jaws? I mean, you go to the beach all the time. Are you not afraid that when you're dangling your little toesies in there and you're not gonna be like eaten?
It's interesting because when Jaws came out, I was living on the West Coast. I was living up in Oregon, and we would often go to the ocean. And I really didn't want to watch Jaws for that reason because I really didn't want to be fearful of the ocean. And
Right.
I was okay. I did fine. I swim in the ocean, and it's completely fine. But I will tell you a little side story here. When I was in Grand Cayman, there's the Great Wall, and I was snorkeling over the wall. And as you're snorkeling and you're looking down, you literally, as you're swimming, you swim out over the edge, and you can look down the wall, which is thousands of feet down. And I did have sort of a brief Jaws, moment right then when I was like, "Oh, this is a little scary."
It was gonna come up and get you.
Right now, if I was snorkeling and the music started right then out in the ocean, I would have been out of there. I'm just saying, like that would have been.
Wait, do you think that when people get attacked by sharks, that before they get attacked, they hear the dun dun?
In my mind, I hope that that's the case because then I know that I've got the warning and I'm out of there. So if
If that was the case, anybody who's been attacked by a shark had it coming. All right.
Hey. I was in shallow water at twilight, and I got bumped into by a thresher shark. Which is the way they in a murky water in twilight, they don't know what they're up against, and so they run into stuff to find out if it's edible.
You were bumping uglies?
No, yeah, bumping uglies. Yes, I got the hell out of the water.
I would think so.
Oh yeah.
We might need to apologize to Denny G for that one.
No.
Bumping uglies.
No.
Speaking of all this stuff, a Massachusetts lobster diver this week survived being swallowed up and spit out by a humpback whale off the coast of Cape Cod, giving him about 40 surreal seconds in the mouth of the whale. So he actually
Did he punch it or something? On
well,
the
Michael
inside?
Picard said it happened in a flash. He swam in about 45 feet of water a moment before everything turned dark in an instant. This was Friday. Packard said he initially thought he was attacked by a shark, but realized he didn't feel like he was bitten or wasn't in any pain. That's when he realized he was inside the mouth of a whale and fought to locate his breathing regulator, fearing that he'd run out of air and suffocate. But the whale had other plans and spit him out. So he wasn't good enough for the
Not
humpback whale to
tasty.
eat. Right, not tasty, I guess. And he,
Well, they can't.
yeah.
Humpback whales can't eat. They only eat krill, which is literally smaller, like infinitely smaller than your pinky nail.
You're right, because he does say in a quote that he felt the muscles of the whale's mouth kind of moving,
Trying to figure out if it could swallow it or not.
I guess.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Interesting.
Oh my God.
Thank God he didn't get hung up. I mean,
Right.
I don't think there's anybody that could have given the whale, Heimlich maneuver.
That's a hell of a story. That's just crazy. But yeah, so anyway, so with the scary movie stuff, well, yeah, and I think about like listen, I've said this many times. If the phone rings and someone says get out, I leave. Here's the other thing. If I'm in my house and it's dark and all of a sudden scary music starts playing for no reason, I'm also probably leaving the house. I'm just throwing that out there because in my world, you get the
I have ideas.
Yeah.
scary music ahead of time. This is sort of the warning. So you gotta.
I think we can get a surround sound outside your house and
Yeah.
play it a
Oh,
little loud.
no, Sam. He gave us passwords to his Alexa.
Right, all of a sudden,
Oh,
right,
that's right.
thank you. All of a sudden, I bolt out of the house. Yeah.
We can just turn his sidewalk on for him.
Oh my god. Yeah. So anyway, so don't judge a book by its cover, as Denny G says. You got to be careful. But there are some
Same
movies
thing with people.
Right. Yep. I have segued into some movies that the title wasn't quite clear. That's what it was, and I've had to exit. Had to say, whoa. This is not consensual scary movie deal. So safety word. I'm just saying, it's fine.
And what is your safety word?
It's interesting. I've already forgotten, and that's not a good,
That's not very safe.
No, you're supposed to not forget your safety word. You're supposed to remember what it is, and I don't remember what it is.
A good classic one is no.
Yeah, that's the
That's
basic.
the best one.
Yeah, that's the basic. Yeah. Anyway, well, we've got a really good show for you. After the break, we're going to do a little Weird People, and this is Weird People World Record Edition. So this
All right.
this is crazy. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The Dennis George Show continues after this.
I'm Morgan Freeman. I'm not a doctor, but I trust science. And I'm told that for some reason people trust me. So here I am to say, I trust science and I got the vaccine. If you trust me, you'll get the vaccine. In math, it's called the distributive property. In people, it's called taking care of one another. Get the vaccine. Help make our world a safe place for us to enjoy ourselves again. Please.
The views expressed on Dennis George Show
Are not our own or anyone else's.
Listen at your own risk, and we cannot be held responsible for your ears burning, bleeding, or ringing, or the blurred eyesight.
some things you will not be able to unhear or unsee, and for that,
You are warned.
Do not try anything we suggest or talk about at home, work, or in your car.
A reminder, there are no rules, and our show is intended for mature audience only.
or at a minimum,
Those over your state's or country's legal age of consent.
Any experiments
Jobs, skills, or sexual positions suggested
and or recommended
are for comedy purposes only and should not be tried without supervision.
or a spotter.
safety word or phrase,
Is recommended in advance of trying anything
Any
new.
medical advice
or comments that seem like medical advice,
should be reviewed with your own doctor.
or at least.
Check it on Google like we did.
Thank you, and good luck.
And now, back to the Dennis George Show.
I think if you listen to the disclaimer, it's quite clear that the disclaimer completely protects us against absolutely everything possible we could say, recommend,
Mhm.
anything. It's fantastic, but you should heed that warning. I'm just saying, like it's a real deal, especially when we come up with this. These are the our Weird People News world records. So these are, of course, these are real, which is quite interesting.
Wait, who's got the apology list? Because I have a feeling that we're just.
I do.
Probably.
Okay, good. I just thought, we were going to go off the rails with this one.
Maybe. So this week,
No.
a South African woman who was expecting 8 babies is believed to be a new world record holder after she gave birth to 10 infants.
How do you miscount something like that on the sonogram?
7 boys and 3 girls. This is Mitch's nightmare. Like, Mitch doesn't like one kid.
Having 10
but-
babies?
Yeah, 10 babies
That's
would be
everybody's nightmare.
Yeah.
10 that's a lot of babies.
No, truth be told, what my nightmare is that a doctor who couldn't count to 10 is delivering my babies. All right.
Right. Yeah, don't you get a little
I saw a
sonogram?
profile picture of her. She looked awful big.
Did she?
Oh, yeah.
I would think so. With 10 babies, that's a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of
It was
babies.
terrible. I don't know how she could even walk. Probably didn't.
Does-
She probably
right.
had bed
Doesn't that
rest most
happen-
of the time.
Right.
Doesn't that happen fairly often though, Mitch? Where like they think that there's only like twins and there's triplets, or they think there's one and there's two.
Sometimes
mean-
with that in vitro fertilization stuff, they end up with more than one.
What they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, more than what
Well,
they want, too, probably.
I mean, 20, 25 years ago with, the ultrasounds, yeah, maybe. But I mean, with the advanced 3D ultrasounds that we have right now, no.
I just think
Yeah.
Dad's got some Olympic swimmers. I'm like, wow, that's just crazy.
I think one of them had help. All right. If we're using the Olympic analogy, one of them was using illegal steroids.
So if you're having 10 babies, how do you have that many eggs to be fertilized? Let's
Yeah.
think about that for a minute.
Yeah, right.
I
Both
have
sides.
no clue.
Both sides of the equation
She's
have to be
very fertile.
Olympic superstars. Yeah, that's crazy. So that's a world record. Other world records: a pair of Idaho men broke a Guinness World Record for using a samurai sword slicing through grapes. Oh, I'm sorry. Their world record was beat by a man. Another team took their record. This is crazy. So apparently, he throws grapes in the air and then slices it with a samurai sword. And then,
Oh, okay. I see. So
Like
yeah,
all at one time before they hit the ground.
yeah.
Oh, like one of them throws the grapes up in the air, the other one has to slice it. Because I was
They
like,
got 1 minute. They have a 1 minute time limit, and he did 66 grapes.
I was just curious. I was like, what? Did one person hold it on the ground? Like, don't miss, don't miss, don't miss.
Right.
And the other person slices it.
When I first read this, for some reason, I thought it was like he was holding it in his mouth or something, and then I was really impressed. But no, they're just like chucking grapes across the room at him or something.
Might get a little nose if you did that.
Yeah.
Maybe they're laid out on a table.
Oh, good point.
Like
Right.
a chopping block. You just go down
And
a
if
roll.
you're a
And
chef, Denny G, that's a good point. If you're a chef, you can chop that fast. I mean, you get very proficient.
How is that again?
With your knife
Okay,
skills.
just checking. Just
Yeah.
checking.
that's a culinary term.
Right.
It's the technical term.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but that's a good point, Denny G. So I think in some ways, like, okay, I'm not as impressed now. I mean, I'm not dissing them, but
I couldn't do it, but yes.
no, but I've seen some chefs with some knife skills that are like, wow, like they're chopping vegetables, and man, they can really go fast. So now I'm not as impressed. Maybe
Well, we don't know though. They might throw them in the air, and they might have to cut.
I
them in
hope
the
that
air.
they're throwing them
No.
because that makes it way more difficult, right?
Yes, it
Yeah,
would.
I agree. How about this one, Sam? I think you could do this one. A Nevada bodybuilder crushed a world record when she used her thighs to smash 3 watermelons in under 8 seconds.
Oh yeah, totally.
Now, I want to
Easy.
know how you figure that out. Like you're like, okay, let's see. I wonder what my skill would be. You know what? Let me try to crush a watermelon with my thighs. Like what?
Well,
Just-
Suzanne Summers, a thigh master, probably
That's true.
might have helped.
Come on, Roxanus.
She probably was in the grocery store and she was just gonna hold a watermelon between her legs really quick to grab something else, and she accidentally smashed it, and she was like, "Oh my god!"
So one of the
See if it
ones
was
where you
ripe.
hide the stuff under your dress and try to walk out with it between your legs.
Yeah. She is going to teach on August 3rd. By the way, August 3rd is National Watermelon Day. I don't know if it's everywhere in the world, but apparently in the U.S., that's National Watermelon Day is August 3rd. She's going to teach a watermelon crushing class.
Seedless or not?
That's a fair question. I don't know.
So yeah, it's only got to be in the U.S. because it's National Watermelon Day. If it was everywhere, it'd be International Watermelon Day.
Yeah.
I hope they're gonna do the watermelon crawl after.
Ta-da!
You know what I really want is I want like a cocktail. Well, I think watermelon juice is so underrated, but I think so. I had a friend who used to make a watermelon drink where he'd carve a hole in the watermelon and then he'd dump bottles of liquor into it and then let it sit overnight. So we got to make one of those. I'm just saying.
The watermelon kegs.
That would be
Yeah.
Mitch.
Like
Mitch was the watermelon keg maker.
Did he do that? We need to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It was delicious.
and like you put a tap in the keg and you just like
Yeah. Can we
the
do
problem
that?
with it is it's so good you don't realize that you're getting smashed.
Yeah. Let's
We're
do
not
that for the
alcoholics.
fireworks show.
We are not. We are not quitters.
No, we're not quitters. Another Guinness World Record for the most spoons on a human body. Now, I saw a picture of this. This is kind of weird. 50 metal spoons magnetized to his body. So
That's
he
cheat-
kind of
that's
hung them off his
cheating.
body. What's that?
Magnetized?
if you magnetize it, yeah, so that like they're actually sticking. They're magnets.
No, I get that, but like, how is it magnetized to your body?
I don't
do
know.
you
I saw
swallow the
photo.
magnet to put it to get it to magnetize? I don't get it. I
don't
don't.
know.
I
Well,
need
if
more
you-
explanation.
The photo didn't really explain it. It was just like they had all these spoons hanging off of him, and I thought that's just kind of odd. Like,
I was gonna say, I think I can put 50 spoons on me. I'll just lay flat on the ground. You can just pile a whole bunch on me.
I think they're supposed to dangle from you.
Yeah, I got your dangle.
Mhm.
So
Easy. It's all about the
Milian,
angle of the dangle.
right?
Mhm.
Milian Roskov of Slovenia broke his own previous world record by juggling 3 chainsaws 62 successful times in a row. By the way, the chainsaws were running. I think that's fantastic. Like, if you're going to
So-
juggle chainsaws, that to me is a world record.
So he did it 62 times in a row. What happened on the 63rd?
Yeah, that's a fair question.
He's no longer with us.
Right, that's a good point. I
His
guess that's
juggling career is over. Yes.
right.
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 Whoop, took that hand off. Well, his previous record was
equipment for that.
yeah, his previous record was 35 saws or 35 successful times in a row. So as opposed to 62, so he almost doubled his record.
He clearly only lost a finger the first time.
I kind of
How
feel
many
like
chainsaws does he juggle at the same time?
3.
3 at a time.
3 at a time. Okay.
Yeah.
And he does it 50 whatever times. Okay.
Yeah, so many rotations.
60.
Or he drops it.
61.
Yeah, I feel like 62 is a
62.
record now. I feel
Mhm.
like if you are in a hazardous job of some sort, you could pretty much create your own world record. Like I shoveled 121 shovels of toxic waste before keeling over. I mean, I feel like that could be a world record. Like you could create your own world
And do you
record.
have to be alive after?
I think so. Yeah, that's the thing is like I think you could create your own
Know
world
why.
record if it was anything toxic. Denny G, what is on your background?
That's a banana
Okay,
cut in half.
That is a
does-
messed up banana.
What is
Not
the
look like a-
what
if
is
you're on-
wrong with the banana?
I
Did
Yeah,
you
what's
eat that
know.
banana?
First
I-
off, it
I
looks like praline
don't
ice
know.
cream has been stuffed into the banana with
Yes,
chocolate
I
sauce.
just recently thought I should have saved that. I could have sold it on eBay.
You absolutely
Yes,
could.
you could have.
Too late though. I threw it
You
away.
could sell the digital image.
Yes, I do. I could make one of those things that you
Yep,
know.
It is
it's
actually
pretty
a pretty
disgusting.
picture.
For those of you listening, it's the only way to describe it is if you put praline ice cream with chocolate sauce and shoved it into a banana, which looks disgusting. That's what it looks like to me.
It's actually a perfect description of it as well.
It really is.
I
Yeah.
agree with that 150%.
It's pretty
It was
disgusting.
weird enough to take a picture.
Did you eat it?
Yeah.
No,
Did you smell it?
it didn't have a bad smell.
It didn't. It smelled fine.
Well, I didn't put my nose right up next to it, but when I
What do
cut
you
it open, it
suspect?
didn't smell putrid or anything like that.
What do you suspect is
Right.
happening there?
I suspected something decided to live inside of it. I almost dissected it because people can't see it unless you're watching us on YouTube, but on the left side, a really dark spot, which looks like chocolate, really dense thing was a hole that went down the banana. I almost dissected, like I said, I almost dissected to see what was in there because I thought maybe something was living in there, but I didn't. I wasn't adventuresome
Makes me
enough.
not to ever
I was
want
about
to eat
to
a
say,
banana. Now I'm going to want to cut up my banana from now on into little pieces
s-
to double check
scared
it.
of
Well,
spider
well,
would
you
come
could
out of
tell
it or
this was
something.
wrong. You could tell something was wrong with this banana. It was firm, but it was kind of grayish on parts of it on the outside.
Yeah, interesting.
But it wasn't soft. It wasn't mushy. It was pretty hard.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Thrill seekers still hold the world records for the most naked roller coaster riders on a theme park with 102 roller coaster riders. That was broken. That was maintained, I should say, in Southeast England. They broke the original record on August 8th of 2010. They rebroke it again a couple weeks ago with the same number of riders, 102. If you've got 102 naked riders and you hold the world record from 11 years ago, get one more person. Like you're at 102, find one more naked person and drag them screaming if you have to. Put them on the roller coaster and break the record. I'm just
Maybe
saying.
that's all.
why
it
didn't I
seats.
get
Maybe
an
the roller
invite?
coaster? That's all it seats.
Yeah, roller coaster only seats so
Oh.
many people.
Right.
And what you need to do is you
Put
need
them
to
on your
always.
lap.
Yeah, naked on your lap. That's good. Backwards
What could
too.
go wrong?
Right.
So you hang on to them so they don't fall out.
Reverse cowgirl.
Safety
It's fine.
first. Safety
It's
first.
fine.
Make sure you bring protection.
This would probably be where Debbie would be ringing the bell. I'm just
Yeah,
pointing
that's,
that
a, that's
out.
a
Yeah.
roller coaster I don't want
It's
to
fine.
sit on.
Yeah.
right.
Hopefully they sanitized it.
If you're going to break the record, I'm just saying, I don't.
And how
I don't
come you're
know.
not getting arrested? I mean,
Well,
where do
it's
you
clearly a
disrobe?
promotion.
You disrobe in the middle of the ride?
Well, it's in England.
no,
People
I think
People
you
aren't hung up on their bodies.
I don't care if they're hung up or not.
They might
I'm
be
not hung up
but they're
either,
not
but
hung up.
where do you disrobe?
Sanitize the
What
safety
do you do with your
bar.
clothes?
Right there when you load the roller coaster. You just take your clothes off.
Oh, just right there, huh?
Yep, just right there.
All right.
Yep. As
Now,
long as
if-
you sanitize the bar that goes across your lap, you're fine.
If I was like one of the kids running that roller coaster when they all disrobed and the thing went out, I would just grab all their clothes and throw them somewhere else, and then run.
Nice guy. Nice guy.
Right. Super. Just super.
You guys
Always
would really want to
considerate.
see that. You know you would.
China's Jin Song Ho set the world record for the longest time spent in direct full body contact with snow, January 2011. He still holds the record. 46 minutes and 7 seconds, longest time spent direct full body contact in the snow. Now, I want to challenge this one because I think I remember a New Year's Eve party when I was younger, when I passed out on a neighbor's yard and it was in the snow face down. I think I was down there for longer than 46 minutes.
Were you naked?
I might have been naked. So I'm just saying that I think that I might have broken that record. Someone should
So was this
down or
person
face
covered
up?
in snow or just laying on snow?
just laying on. Well, it says full body contact with snow.
Full body contact sounds like you're packed in snow,
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
so. I
not
think
just
he's
laying on the lawn.
I think he's just starfishing on the snow.
Well, then you could roll,
Yeah. That's pretty cold, though.
Yes. Did he have clothes on?
No.
All right.
Full body contact.
Full body
Well,
contact.
but if it's full body contact, never mind.
That means he got to be completely submerged.
You think
If it's
you-
full
you-
body,
think so.
otherwise
Full
there would be
body
half body.
contact.
So buried in snow.
I
Yeah,
think
with
so.
like literally like a pipe for it to breathe out of.
I didn't dig down on this world record, but you're right. I probably should have investigated it a little bit
Nah,
more.
it's all right.
Yeah. Interesting. February 2013, this record still holds. 4,483 people hula hooped for 7 minutes, setting a Guinness Book of World Records for the most people to simultaneously hula hoop.
There's a lot of hula hoops to get a hold of.
Yeah, but look where it
Right.
took place. It took place at Thammasat University Stadium on the outskirts of Bangkok. Here's the thing. When you look at people like in China, I mean, they do things in mass so amazingly. You don't need to apologize to them. I'm
Oh
complimenting.
no, we already did.
I'm
We
complimenting.
already
them.
added them.
I'm complimenting them.
No, I don't
mean,
think so.
no, I really am. So they do things in mass. I mean, you look at the Olympics opening ceremony and you're like, wow. Like, how did they get 1,000 people to move exactly that way? It's pretty impressive.
Do you think only
Choreography.
China does that?
No, but they seem a lot more.
Okay, that's why we're apologizing to him. Go ahead and move on.
No, I'm just
Go
saying.
ahead.
I'm saying they seem
All
a
right,
lot.
Judge Judy.
No, right. I think they seem just a lot more precise. Like just fantastically precise. It's precision.
Okay, so now we should apologize to the rest of the world because we're not
Yes.
precise.
That I'm okay with. I'm okay with apologizing with everyone else. That's exactly right. Good point, Sam. So if you were to set a world record, what would you set a world record in, Sam? What could you set a world record in, you think?
I don't
Yes.
know. I'll have to come back to that.
Yeah, see, I had a problem too coming up with what I would be willing to set a world record on. Like I don't
Monopoly.
know. Oh, I could do a Monopoly world record, play Monopoly. That's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, anyway, there are a lot of really weird world records out. I was reading
I
other
could
ones.
probably do the most hours slept in a day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just put a movie on and I'm out.
I'm the same way if I don't like it or if I'm not interested in it. It doesn't keep my mind active.
Not
I'm
much.
sleeping.
There's not much that I get interested in on TV.
Yeah, I don't know. Mitch, what about you? What would be a world record?
I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know either. We got to work on it. Maybe we could figure out one we could all do together.
I mean, this is what we should have done during quarantine. All right.
right. That's true.
Right.
I mean, like, if we would have done the Monopoly record, we could have just annihilated a 6-month Monopoly game. All right.
Right. I don't have any place to go. I just play Monopoly. Right.
Right.
That's true. All right, we'll be right back after this. Here's a quick message from Audible.
Hey, Malcolm, your podcast on Audible, right?
That's right. And your new audiobook.
I mean, they got everybody on here. Jane Austen, John Cena, sleep stories, meditation. I mean, can you imagine a more fascinating place than Audible?
No, I've done the research.
You've done the research. Of course you have. Is that a piano? I want to play you something.
Can I pet your dog?
I wouldn't.
The most inspiring minds, the most compelling stories, all in one place. Audible.
Find us online at DennisGeorgeShow.com.
Hey there, catch us 24/7 on social media. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Good Pods. On Alexa and Google Assist, say, play Dennis George Show podcast.
If you have a question or comment, send us an email at podcast@DennisGeorgeShow.com. Or if you're just looking for a date. If we read your question or comment on the show, we'll send you a Dennis George Show t-shirt. That's podcast@DennisGeorgeShow.com. Now back to the show.
All right, let's.
Dennis, how many people have actually emailed you asking for a date?
There are more people asking my mom for my mom's number. Thank you, Mitch, for that.
You're welcome. How many people are asking Debbie out because she's not here to defend herself?
Well, we're calling Debbie right now, so we'll see if she answers. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hello.
I'm not sure. Hello, you're live on the
Are you all behaving yourselves?
No,
No,
Oh,
we're not.
Lord have mercy.
And
Lord have mercy.
And there's lots of times that we've already realized the bell would have rang. I'm just saying, like we have even said this is where Debbie would ring the bell.
See,
We've been making
I
sounds
warned
like it,
you.
too.
I warned you.
Yes.
Yeah. So we phoned up Debbie. We did a little surprise here. She is unavailable. She's on vacation. So we thought we're getting ready to do your top 10 list for you. And I just wanted to let you know that there will be lots of times in here where we will be missing the bell, but it should be there. I'm just saying.
Oh no. Can I at least hear, first of all, hello listeners. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Let me ask this question.
Yep.
Can I at least know the topic of the top 10?
So the topic is, you're going to love it. It's top 10 worst movie characters from the 1980s movies.
This could go one of two ways, and that's bad and very bad.
Well, let me just tell you who number 9 is. Number 9.
Oh, okay.
Number 9 is from 16 Candles, and his name is Long Duck Dong.
Long Duck Dong. Yeah, I know the character.
Yeah.
I'm well aware.
We will be apologizing. There's lots of apologies in that one for sure. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Have your travels been safe?
Goodness gracious. Oh, well, I'm sorry I'm not there to rein you guys in, but, much needed vacation time with the fam, so.
Yep. Well, you have a great time. We're good to hear your voice, and we miss you for sure. I know the listeners miss you being able to throw the brakes on.
Yes, yeah. So everybody, thank you for listening again, and you boys try and behave yourselves without me.
We've already had to
try.
apologize to everyone.
Yeah,
Literally everyone.
Yeah, we've already had to. It's been bad.
Well,
Good.
try not to
Good.
get us kicked off of anything. That's all I ask, really.
Okay. Bye, Debbie. Thanks.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was nice that she answered. Just saying.
All right.
Top 10 list. Top 10 worst movie characters from the 1980s movies. Now, here's the deal. Not to expose your age, but I don't even know that some of you have seen these movies. I'm just going to point that out there. So 30 years later, there are still dozens of films from the 80s that are routinely placed in much watch and best of lists. In fact, most of these movies fall into categories where movie people will say, you've got to watch, this is like on the list of most that you've got to watch this movie. Nothing is perfect, and even the best movies can have some pretty abysmal characters within the movie. Looking back, a lot of characters in the 80s movies were not quite the heroes or innocent sidekicks we thought they were. In fact, in the era of political correctness, most of these characters would not survive the test of the current day scripting for movies. Like, there's no way in hell a lot of this stuff would have flown. I'm just saying. Just not even possible. Number 10 is James Dalton in Roadhouse. Now,
It would still fly today.
I didn't see this one. This stars Patrick Swayze. He starred as James Dalton, a protagonist. Protagonist?
Protagonist.
Yep. In the
Protagonist.
1989 action brawler Roadhouse, just walking, talking, high kicking nonsense, Dalton makes the list because of his sheer unbelievability. Through Swayze's performance admirably as a character, is the character himself who sinks the only who sinks the oily neon lit ship. Oh, sinks. Gotcha. I'm having trouble reading today. I don't know what the problem is.
It's fine. It happens.
Yeah. James Dalton is a cooler, as everyone else on planet Earth would say, a bouncer. Somehow he becomes famous for bouncing, which I guess means his bar has the fewest unwanted guests, even though 0 unwanted guests is the average number for any establishment at any given time. Anyway, he has become such an outstanding bouncer by studying Tai Chi, meditation, and philosophy, apparently. But despite his enlightenment, he still refuses to wear practical, non-bulge highlighting clothing or drive a car that isn't giant phallic symbol. To top that off, his transcendence melts away the instant he's threatened, causing him to rip out people's throats with his bare hand.
He only did it once.
Yeah, seriously, he did that. Left open bleeding hole in a guy's neck and everything. Dalton is a man of many faces, and they all belong in different movies. So, here's this guy who's apparently the perfect bouncer.
This is one movie, right?
Yeah, one movie. Does not behave like a bouncer. I've not seen this movie, Denny.
It's a good movie.
Okay,
It's a
see?
good movie.
It's a good movie.
All right.
And he only doesn't rip out anybody's throat in the movie. He just talks about it, and he has a chance near the end of the movie to do that, and he doesn't do it.
Oh,
because
all
he's
right.
in love.
So he redeems himself.
Yeah, I guess. No, it's one of those. If you talk about not being believable, well, how about Aliens? How about any other movie? How about some of the Marvel
Indiana
comic movies?
Jones.
None of that shit's none of that's believable. It's just
There's a
entertainment.
context.
Wait a minute, Indiana Jones wasn't a documentary?
Yeah, it might have been.
Number 9, Long Duck Dong from 16 Candles. Long Duck Dong.
Who was that? I've seen this movie and I don't remember.
I'm going to
this,
explain it
this
to you
character.
here. Long Duck Dong makes the list for being cruelly insulting to an entire continent, even for his time. Yes, 16 Candles came out in 1984, but by then it was well known that crapping all over an entire culture was a no-no. The Donger, as he calls himself, exhibits essentially
Donger?
Yep.
Yes.
Exhibits essentially every Asian stereotype writer-director John Hughes could think of, including being accompanied by a gong hit every time he came on the screen. The character was widely criticized immediately following the film's release by several high-profile groups, but their concerns were shrugged off by John Hughes and Universal Pictures. Yet criticism remains to this day. Even star Molly Ringwald recently reflected on the character. It's a grotesque stereotype. What began as an ignorant attempt to get cheap laughs has since become an endearing symbol of intensity, earning the Donger a spot on the worst list. It is a truly offensive character. But the funny thing is, when I was back there in 1980s, we were all like, oh, okay, it's just terrible.
I don't remember the movie. I remember the name, but I never saw it.
Right.
It's on every list of an 80s movie you should see, 16 Candles, but with Molly Ringwald, but it's got great music in it. So you're like, oh, it's a lot of 80s music, big hair, all that kind of stuff. But that movie, that's just, it's very offensive.
Ball bangs everywhere.
Yeah, number 8, Howard the Duck, actual character Howard the Duck. There's no controversy here. Howard the Duck is one of the single worst movies ever made. Even diehard Marvel comic nerds can find little to like in this 2-hour piece of flaming duck crap. The movie tries to make Howard the Duck a snarky, wisecracky anti-hero, a.k.a. Ferris Bueller, but only managed to force a few half-assed duck puns and phone in a character arc. Before they roll credits, there's seriously nothing on this movie to love unless you are into human-on-bird relationships, which in case, good on you, not here to judge. So,
all right.
We should apologize to the birds.
Probably.
I was about to say, apologize to ducks.
Number 7, Louis Schloenick, Revenge of the Nerds. This is another case of behaviors aging poorly, but unlike the overt mockery that is Long Duck Dong, this one is insidious and creepy. Revenge of the Nerds is a good movie for the most part. It did the world a good deed by helping to shift the typical movie hero from a square-jawed jock a-hole to reputable, clever underdogs. But for all the respect it gives to misfits, it pointedly disrespects women. The nerd girls are publicly called pigs and a whole fraternity. The movie's heroes break and enter into a female dorm, watch them undress, then steal their underwear, and to top it off, our main protagonist, I never can say that word right, Louis Sloanick, decides to win over the popular girl's heart by, raping her. Terrible. This is the actual climax of the film. We're supposed to laugh and cheer that. Pretty hard to root for the underdog when they're a cruel psychopath. This was again an incredibly popular movie that, by the way, had 3 sequels.
Yep.
To the movie. Like
the 80s were clearly wrong.
Just awful. Just absolutely awful. Okay, Ferris.
All that hairspray got to their heads. All right. They
Clearly.
routed out their brains with all that hairspray.
We all went to see that movie. I was in high school in the 80s. These are the movies we went and saw. Like, it explains a lot. Ferris Bueller, number 6. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You can never go too far. Ferris Bueller, 1986. Yes, you can. Ferris, and only insane people think that. Ferris Bueller Days Off is 103 minutes of privilege, conniving, scheming, lying, narcissistic, manipulative, bullying, ungrateful, compassionate little jerk taking advantage of everyone that cares about him. Seriously, everyone says watch Ferris Bueller Days Off. It's an amazing movie, but you have to stop and think about it. The casualties of this campaign are exploitation that include his best friend Cameron, his girlfriend Sloane, his high school dean, the school secretary, a Ferrari 250 GT, his sister, his mother, his father, and worst of all, Abe Froman, Sausage King of Chicago.
All true, but a good movie.
No, I think the Ferrari needs to be the worst off, man. I mean, because that thing, holy shnikes.
But people still idolize this movie. Like, it's a cult movie still, but yet it's like everything he does in this movie is absolutely awful. Like, it's just terrible. Yes. It's like, wow.
You're not wrong.
Worst movie characters of 1980. Here's one that really hit me in the heart. Ghostbusters. All of the Ghostbusters are terrible.
Agreed.
Another painful admission for me.
Quite entertaining.
The Ghostbusters are not just good guys. Yes, they've saved New York twice, but in doing so, they've played God, not just with the spirits, but with human lives. For one thing, the guys punish every ghost they encounter with an internal prison. Not just the big bads like Virgo and Gozer. Not every ghost gets the same infinity harsh deal. Even if one buster just happens to see an innocent murder victim ghostly floating by on her unfinished business of finding her killer, boom, internal prison in a box. In Spengler's own words, the 4 untrained busters carry unstable nuclear reactors on their back. One of the film's supposedly villains, he's a villain. An EPA inspector correctly determines this and tries to regulate these portable atom bombs, but the 4 jerks with no training and too much confidence shut him down and ridicule him. And really, if you're the film's protagonist and chiefly in conflict with the EPA, maybe they're not the best people.
Hey, it's science fiction. Come on.
But again, we idolize these people, and it's like, and they're making fun of the EPA. Like, what did that do to a whole series of kids who are like supposed to be like, let's be environmentally conscious and not strap a nuclear reactor on people's backs?
Are you going to be able to find a nuclear reactor you can strap on your back? Let's start with that.
That's
even plausible.
That's a fair question.
Right.
Number 4, I didn't like this one. Danny LaRusso, the Karate Kid. I thought he was a wimp anyway. It's impossible to make this point better than Barney Stinson already has, but Daniel LaRusso is not the real Karate Kid. Johnny Lawrence is. By almost any metric, the protagonist in the story. Lawrence grew up without knowing his father and abused by his stepfather. He took up karate as a way to regain his agency and become his own person. He poured his heart and soul into his craft, but even then lost early in the first round tournament. His steadfast determination caused him to double down on his training, and he eventually became the best fighter in the city, and in doing so, moved beyond his fear and loathing for his stepfather. The hero's journey completed. Enter Daniel LaRusso, who bullies Lawrence and settles all their disputes with violence instead of getting
Rightfully
to know
so,
the tortured
though.
soul that Lawrence hides. Then LaRusso steals the championship from Lawrence in an illegal face kick in what has to be one of cinematic's greatest tragedies.
Yes. I don't see anything wrong with this.
Right.
Movie.
And once again,
He
logic
overcame.
prevails. Right.
Where's the buzzer?
Worst movie characters of
That's the
1980s
buzzer.
movies. Number 3, everyone at Weekend at Bernie's.
Well, yes, all right. You're carting around a dead body, all right. You are a terrible human being, all right.
I don't think I even need to read that. Mitch has just completely summarized exactly what we're going to say. Which is,
Yep.
You're carting around a dead body. You're being completely disrespectful to this poor guy.
Any of the Weekend at Bernie films, because there are like 4 or 5 of them, right?
Right.
And why is that body not stinking?
Yeah, it holds up phenomenally well.
Right.
All right. I mean, like the blood was still like, there in the face. It wasn't pooling in the feet or anything.
It's true.
Didn't get rigor mortis.
I only saw the first one. I didn't see the other. I didn't see any sequels.
Yeah, I didn't.
Couldn't have been good.
Still dead.
Right.
Just true.
Really? Were they still carting him around?
I have no idea. I only watched the first one.
Oh my god. Number 2, worst movie characters. Doc Brown in Back to the Future. Now let me just read this one to you. This is hysterical. Imagine you're a parent. Say Lorraine McFly. This is Back to the Future, right? And your son Marty tells you that he spends all of his free time hanging out with an 80-year-old man, Doc Brown. Moreover,
wanted for stealing nuclear material.
Let me finish, Mitch. Moreover, this old man is a failed nuclear physicist, and regularly your son helps him test his experimental new nuclear technology. Even more, this old man has dealings with Libyan terrorists. Still more, the old man thinks your son is the perfect candidate to test the completely unfounded, unregulated, unknown science of time travel. How would you feel about this situation between the old man and your son?
Well, if I was that one woman
Depends which one.
In Africa who had 10 kids, I'd be like, go for it.
Right. In this case, as Lorraine, you would probably feel fine because that way the younger version of you gets to have sex with your son in 1955.
They did not.
The movie's really messed up.
They did not.
It's all really weird.
I am my own grandpa.
You only got the first base.
And number 1 is for Mitch. The worst movie characters of 1980. This one is completely for Mitch. The Ewoks, Return of the Jedi.
I would have thought that like Data from the Goonies would have been on there.
Yeah. Some Star Wars fans love the Ewoks, some hate them. The debate has raged for over 30 years with no end in sight, so let's end it. The Ewoks are garbage characters. The original Star Wars trilogy is an unbelievably mixed bag of good and bad film components. On the one hand, the movie brought sci-fi to the mainstream, revolutionized special effects, and are each a detailed love letter to Joseph Campbell's treatises on comparative mythology. I don't even know what the hell that means. On the other hand, the Ewoks. The end of the Return of the Jedi is a cathartic climax to an adventure and a decade in the making, and scenes like those in Palatine's chambers crackle with emotion. I can't understand any of this. Yet for some reason, toys, George Lucas chose an alternate to those scenes with long slapstick sequences of Ewoks fumbling their way through the forest because of toys. The intense anxiety of Darth Vader choosing between letting his only son die and killing his mentor is sandwiched between shots of fat, fuzzy forest beavers pawing at stormtroopers for no apparent reason to sell toys. Landon and Eckhart's desperate final assault on the second Death Star is thrilling, but cuts to some hairy, bucktooth, tater tot slapping with their grubby hands to sell more toys. I just wish I could figure out why Lucas put this in the film.
Let's be very clear.
All right.
There was no climax in any Star Wars film. And second of all, they should have stopped while they were ahead on the first one and never touched it again.
I climaxed during a Star Wars film. So.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I had to.
There's the bell. I heard
Awful films. I'll apologize.
Here's the thing,
to Star
Dennis. All
Wars.
right. See me, I'm 6 foot awesome. All right. So everyone being shorter than I am, they just remind me of the Ewoks.
Right.
All right. So I love the Ewoks. All right. Because they're all just cute and stumbling around and falling over. All right. So it's everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're cute and cuddly too, but it is strange. They are very mismatched with the film. Like when I did see the film and they're in the forest, I like this is just kind of doesn't fit with the storyline. And there are many people online who say the only reason George Lucas wrote that into the film is because of the toy culture that was created because of the Ewoks. I don't know if that's true.
Sounds good to me.
There are a lot of Ewok toys, though. It's true.
Sounds like they made a lot of money off of it, unfortunately.
They made billions on the toys. Like billions and billions and billions of dollars. So I'm just saying. Well, that's what we have for the top 10 list. Debbie's not here to defend herself, so that's interesting.
Can we make fun of Virginia now since she's not here?
We'll do that right after the break. Stick around. We're also going to talk about our July 4th plans, so stick around for that.
All right.
The Dennis George Show continues after this.
Check out our YouTube channel. It's a whole new way to watch radio, where you can find each episode of our show. Just search Dennis George Show. Like us and subscribe. See you there.
Hey, this is Mitch from The Dennis George Show. If you have a question, comment, new sexual position, things I should do with Dennis's mom, or looking for a date, or even looking for a date with Dennis's mom, send us an email at podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. If we read your question or comment on the air, we'll send you a t-shirt. That's podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. And now, back to the show.
And we're back. Remember, send us your listener email, podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. We're going to do an extended listener email section of the show in a couple weeks. So send those comments and questions in, and let's have fun with it. It should be a good time for everyone. Yeah, for sure.
I love listener email.
Come on, listeners. Don't let me down. Come on.
Me too. Exactly. Big 4th of July coming up here in the United States. We celebrate the 4th of July by blowing shit up. So we actually go to a really large fireworks show that we kind of collectively all put together, which is a ton of fun. And there's, I don't know, Mitch, how many people would you say come to that in total? Not just our group, but really the whole, because it's in sort of like a neighborhood.
Yeah, it's I would say easily the entire neighborhood, which is probably about 400 or 500 people.
Yeah, I was thinking more than that. I was thinking probably 1,000 or 2.
But I mean, like, the neighborhood looks like a war zone over the 4th of July. It really does.
Yeah.
There's like a whole bunch of competitions of who has the best fireworks, which we always win.
Yeah.
Now, I have a friend of mine who she does not like fireworks at all. But what it begs the question, I love fireworks. So on the spectrum of don't like them at all, really love them, I don't understand. I don't know where I got that to blow shit up. Because I really like fireworks. Like
I think it's interesting that you call it blow shit up, like you're actually blowing stuff up. You like blowing up fireworks.
Yes. I should probably clarify that in this day and age. You're absolutely right. I love shooting stuff up into the sky. How's that?
Yeah, I like that.
Legal fireworks.
Yeah, you don't know where
Lighten
you
up
get
the
that
sky.
Yeah, it's all legal. But I really, really enjoy it. And I do a lot of research and I look at what it's going to look like. And I pretend that it's choreographed, but it really isn't. We just shoot shit. I mean, that's just, let's be real. I mean, it's just like, because we put it to music also. And it's like, no, it's just, we're launching stuff into the air. I mean, that's really what's happening.
We get people that say that our fireworks show is better than municipalities in our region.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It-
it's choreographed. I mean, it's
No, it is.
You know, it's mixed up. It's not just blowing everything up at one time. It's a nice long show.
Well, especially if you're not lighting stuff, then it is pretty well choreographed.
Okay, I'll take that.
It's came a long
Wow.
way. We've
That was a
we've
personal
perfected that. We're
attack,
getting
Dennis.
better.
Apologize to Denny G. That was,
Absolutely.
that
No,
was
no.
a personal
There was one
attack.
year-
Whoa.
There was one year when Denny G had a lighter in his hand and he was going just a little crazy with the lighter. I'm just saying. It was
True story. He just was
fantastic.
walking up and down the street, just lighting them.
Just
Well,
was
it wasn't dark
fantastic.
yet, right? It wasn't dark yet. That's
It was
true.
great.
It was fun.
Oh, it was old fireworks. It was old from the year before.
Yeah, it was still great. It was still
Yes.
fantastic. Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
fine. I didn't care.
So what is everyone's 4th of July plans? Because folks are going to be listening to this and gearing up for the big 4th of July.
Blowing up stuff.
Yeah.
We will be doing our normal celebration, doing a
Yep.
little drinking,
A
some
little
barbecue,
barbecue,
Oh,
you know, a little
yeah.
barbecue, and a little. I admit, Sam, I think you said something about a brisket. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna roast a brisket.
You're not going to smoke it?
Nope.
No. It actually tastes more delicious in the roaster.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. And probably there'll be some different types of potato salad,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking maybe some brats too. I think some brats would get down on the grill.
Yeah. Who doesn't
Super
like
easy.
good brat? Yeah, keep it
Right.
simple. Keep it
Right.
simple. Because last time we had this get together, now we did do it last year with the pandemic going on. It was scaled back quite a bit. There was no real big food at all. It was
Correct.
really just people showed up and we shot off fireworks. But this time, I think there's going to be more food. I've heard.
Mhm.
People
But
are
if
going
I-
to bring stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone brings a side dish or dessert or something. But
Perfect.
here's what I'm going to say though. There's always so much food. Like
Yes.
I think because you tell people just bring a side dish and they bring a lot of stuff. And I think we could tell the hosts just don't make so much stuff. Let people bring the stuff because there's always so much food. You know?
Oh yeah, like I'm telling my spouse, they're like, "Oh, let's make this, make this, make this." I'm like, "No,
Yeah, you don't need to.
pick one."
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I understand
B&B.
from hosting. It sometimes is a little difficult as a host because you worry that people are gonna go home hungry, right?
Yeah, it's
So
for the
that's-
fireworks, though. It's not for food.
Yeah. But I will say, Sam, that of all the times that you've hosted events, I've never left one of your events hungry. I'm just going to point that out. Like,
True.
that's never been an issue.
Because you're
So,
excessive.
yeah, so you need to, after 10 years, you need to drop that phobia.
Yeah, but none of the food ever goes to waste.
Yeah,
That's fine then.
yeah. Well, you're good at parceling it out. It's kind of nice because I usually leave an event at your house with a to-go bag, and I got
Yeah.
something for the next day or two, and I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
So
do
keep
like
doing it.
Right?
I like hosting.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. We missed Debbie this week. She'll be back next time for sure. Keep in mind that we want you all to send in your email, podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. Sam has this week's apology list.
I would like to start off by saying rest in peace, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
We should apologize to the Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna actually watch that.
We should apologize to the Village people because they're not scary.
YMCA.
We're gonna apologize to whores, actual whores. You know, sometimes you have to have a profession, and that's sometimes what you have
They're
to
called
do.
working girls, Sam.
Really, both.
Oh, I
of-
apologize. That's why I apologize to them because I
Working
called them
men and
whores, and it
women.
should have been working girls.
Men and women.
People attacked by sharks, we're gonna apologize to you.
Whales.
Watermelons that have been crushed with thighs, we're gonna apologize to all the watermelons. Naked people on roller coaster rides that Mitch has hidden their clothes, we're gonna apologize. We're gonna apologize to China for being too precise.
Yeah.
We're also gonna apologize to Long Duck Dong.
I don't think we should apologize.
No, we should not apologize.
It just sounded like I needed to do it from the very beginning, and I put it on the list, and then I listened to it, and then it didn't need an apology.
All right.
We're gonna apologize to Asia for 16 Candles. They didn't have good censorship then. Birds for Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Star Wars fans, we apologize because we bashed you a little bit, or I bashed you a little bit because I don't like any of them. And we're gonna apologize to Denny G.
Oh, Denny G made the list.
Know why?
I don't know why either. Oh, because of the fireworks incident.
The fireworks.
care.
I want the listeners to write in and explain to Sam why he is wrong for not liking Star Wars.
Yeah. That's but Sam, you don't really, in your defense, you really don't like sci-fi movies.
No, that's not true.
No?
I liked Aliens. I like sci-fi movies.
Okay, but Star Wars, Star Trek, Voyager, you don't like any of those.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing that I don't like about Star Wars is I don't really understand bing, 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 and then hear somebody tell me what they said. I really don't like that format in a movie. And for a long time, there was like no subtitles, right? For ding, 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 ding. And then
So note to self, let's not send Sam to meet aliens.
Then they came out with the new ones, right? That just came out not too long ago. And now you get subtitles. Why? We could have shortened so many films by just giving us subtitles instead of having to have somebody translate. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm apologizing to Star Wars one more time.
Again.
You know, I don't like movies with subtitles because I don't read fast, and so I can't keep up with it if it's all subtitles. It's like
I understand. It's just too much for me.
I don't think, Sam, you should be the one representing Earth to meet the aliens when they arrive. To me,
No, I don't know.
Well, but he's not going to be tolerant of them not speaking his language.
How do you know they're not going to speak his language?
I'm just
I
saying
guarantee you they'll have subtitles. Because clearly, if they got here, they're smarter than we are.
That's a fair point, I guess. All right, you all. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Have a great
Star
week.
Wars fans.
See you all.
Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Join us again next time for another edition of The Dennis George Show. Thanks for watching.